If you are over 65, you are probably paying bills that you are not obligated to pay. Millions of elderly Americans are actually losing thousands of dollars annually without even realizing it because no one informed them of their options. Prescription medication expenses, property taxes, Medicare premiums, and more. They're more than simply numbers. Your retirement funds are being steadily depleted by these very expenses, frequently without any justification. You see, certain protections, exemptions, and legal advantages take effect when you turn 65. The issue, though, is this: they are not automatic. Nobody gives you a call to inform you. If you don't know where to look, you can end up paying for something you don't owe. Watch this video to wake up. Here are 6 typical bills that seniors continue to pay needlessly. You may be paying bills at the moment. Please let us know if you have encountered any of these circumstances or if you are aware of any other hidden expenses that older folks should be aware of. Post about your experience in the comments section. You might be able to save someone else from making the same mistake. 1 is paying Medicare Part A premiums illegally. The common misconception is that Medicare is free after age 65, but this isn't always the case. You could lose thousands of dollars annually if you don't comprehend the many components of Medicare. Medicare Part A, which includes coverage for skilled nursing facility care, hospice, inpatient hospital stays, and certain home health services, is one of the most frequent and expensive errors seniors make. There is no monthly premium required to receive Medicare Part A if you or your spouse worked and paid Medicare taxes for at least 10 years, or 40 calendar quarters. This is known as Part A of Premium Free. Even though they are eligible for free care, many people over 65 are regrettably nevertheless paying up to $518 a month for this coverage. That comes to an unnecessary annual total of almost $6,000, and they don't want more coverage for this reason. The reason for this is that they were either unaware of their entitlement to free Part A or were misinformed or confused. Now let me illustrate. Mary is 67. She spent more than 30 years as a school secretary before retiring last year. Her spouse worked for the Postal Service, and during their employment, they both paid Medicare taxes. Mary was taken aback by the list of Parts A, B, and D when she went to enlist in Medicare. She was advised to enroll in all sections by a private insurance agent in order to be completely covered. So she did. Despite being eligible for free Part A due to her employment history, she started paying over $500 a month for it. Mary spent nearly $12,000 on superfluous premiums before realizing her error 2 years later. Mary's story is not the only one here. Thousands of individuals across are experiencing this every day. There are numerous reasons. Some elderly people decide to pay for all Medicare components out of fear of having inadequate coverage. Others depend on the counsel of private brokers who are there to market insurance. Most significantly, no mechanism exists that automatically determines if you are eligible for free Part A. You must inquire. You must make sure. Additionally, the system will covertly allow you to overpay if you don't. What you can do is this. Examine your employment history by going to the Social Security Administration's website at ssa.gov. To find out if you or your spouse are eligible for premium-free Part A, you can also give the Social Security office a call. It's not too late if you're already enrolled and paying premiums. Request that Medicare confirm your eligibility by calling 1800 Medicare. Medicare is not a cable bundle, despite the common misconception that purchasing more will get you additional coverage. It is not protection to pay for something you have already earned. It's a waste. Throughout your whole career, you made contributions to this system. You have the right to get the advantages to which you are entitled without being exploited. The expense of prescription drugs is number 2, the cost you should no longer bear. Due to a significant change in federal legislation, Medicare enrollees will no longer be required to pay $2,000 annually out of pocket for prescription drugs as of 2025. One of the most significant improvements to Medicare in recent memory is this modification, which is a component of the Inflation Reduction Act. However, the majority of seniors are actually unaware of it. Many elderly Americans continue to spend $5,000, $6,000, or even $7,000 annually on prescription medications. And they are doing this because they have never filed for Extra Help, the government program that offers financial aid to seniors with low incomes, or because they have not registered in Medicare Part D, or because they are unaware of the new cap that is going into place. Consider Jim. He is 72 years old and takes several drugs for arthritis, high blood pressure, and diabetes. He spends more than $600 a month on prescription drugs, even though he has a drugstore discount card. That's more than 1/3 of his total Social Security income, or more than $7,000 annually. Jim was unaware that, regardless of the number of medicines he takes, Medicare will cap his yearly out-of-pocket drug expenses at $2,000 as of January 1, 2025. More significantly, he might already be eligible for additional assistance, which, depending on his income, could lower his co-pays to as little as $10 to $0 per prescription. However, nobody informed him. Attending a Medicare workshop at his local library was the only way he learnt about this. He had been overpaying by thousands of dollars until that day. Millions of senior citizens are impacted by this severe issue. One of the biggest financial stresses on retirees is the cost of prescription medications. Every dollar counts when you are living on a fixed income, yet most individuals are unaware that further assistance is available or that they qualify for it. Fewer still understand how to apply. The good news is that you can act today. First, if you take prescription drugs on a regular basis, confirm that you are registered in Medicare Part D. Second, call your local Medicaid office or verify your eligibility for additional assistance on the Social Security website. You can be automatically eligible if you are enrolled in Medicaid or get supplemental security income. Otherwise, there are asset and income limits, but they are more lenient than most people realize. Lastly, consult your primary care physician or chemist. Find out if your medications are on the Medicare formulary or if there are generic alternatives. Simply because they believe they are obligated to a particular brand or source, many people continue to pay exorbitant prices. When assistance is available, it is devastating to witness elderly people forego taking their medications due to financial constraints. Don't put off taking action until next year. To ensure that you are completely protected when the new regulations go into effect, start getting ready now. It can cost you what you do not know. However, you may begin saving securely, lawfully, and with confidence once you are aware of your rights. Property taxes come in third. The homeowner's bill ought to be lower. For many elderly people, their home is more than just a place to live. They created memories there, reared their kids there, and made plans to age in peace. Even though the mortgage has been paid off, one bill continues to nag at the door every year: property taxes. Furthermore, the majority of people over 65 are unaware that they can be paying significantly more than they are required by law. Numerous states and local counties in the U.S. provide older persons with unique property tax exemptions, credits, or deferrals. Your yearly tax burden may be reduced by hundreds or even thousands of dollars thanks to these initiatives. Some let elderly people put off paying until their house sells. Others permanently lower the property's taxable value. Here's the issue, though. None of these advantages come without effort. You must be aware of their existence and, more crucially, submit an application each year. Let's look at an example from the real world. Alan, a 74-year-old retiree from Texas, has lived in his modest 3-bedroom home for more than 40 years. He pays roughly $3,800 in property taxes annually.
He makes do with a meager pension and Social Security. His budget is so severely strained by that bill. He was talking to a neighbor one day when he discovered that Texas has a senior homestead exemption that may save him up to 25% on his taxes.
He also discovered that he could postpone paying property taxes until the house is sold without incurring penalties, thanks to a deferral scheme offered by his county. Allen had qualified for both for almost 10 years, but nobody had ever informed him. Additionally, he lost out on over $20,000 in savings since he never applied. Allen's situation is all too typical. Many older homeowners believe they have no other option or believe it would be too difficult to qualify for a tax reduction, so they just pay their yearly property tax payment. However, that is untrue. A one-page application, proof of age, and occasionally income evidence are all that are needed for the majority of exemption programs. The income threshold is significantly greater than most people realize in many jurisdictions.
Additionally, regardless of your income, you might already be eligible if your property serves as your primary residence. Start by getting in touch with the office of your local tax assessor to learn more about your options. Particularly, inquire about senior property tax exemptions, discounts, or deferral options. Using the name of your state and the terms senior property tax exemption, you can also conduct an internet search. For instance, typing Florida Senior Property Tax Exemption will take you to a page with application forms and information for the state or county. Avoid waiting for someone to tell you, for the simple reason that people are unaware of these programs' existence. They are frequently underutilized. More than half of seniors who were eligible for property tax relief had never applied, according to a recent poll.
You shouldn't be penalized for getting older if you have put in a lot of effort to get your house. The law already provides for your protection, which you should have. All you have to do is claim it. State income taxes, number 4. Are you losing out on deductions based on your age? Most retirees believe their tax position is straightforward when tax season arrives. After all, they no longer receive a salary, and the majority of their income is derived from retirement funds or Social Security. Here's what is frequently overlooked, though. For individuals over 65, several states provide unique tax discounts, exemptions, or income exclusions. Sadly, thousands of seniors are losing out on these age-based breaks because they are unaware that they exist. You could be able to deduct a sizable amount of your retirement income from your state-level taxable income, depending on where you live. You can even completely avoid paying state income tax on some retirement income sources in some states. However, this isn't always clear because of the system. When submitting your state return, you typically have to manually enter or claim these deductions. You run a serious danger of losing out on these benefits if you depend on tax software or someone else to file your taxes. Think about this instance. Gloria is a 70-year-old Colorado resident. She gets roughly $15,000 a year from her IRA, Social Security, and a little teacher's pension. People 65 and older are exempt from state taxes on up to $24,000 of their retirement income under Colorado's tax code. Gloria used an internet software to file her taxes, but the exclusion was not applied immediately because she didn't know to look for it or check. She paid state income taxes that she didn't owe, totaling around $900.
Let's examine another case now. Steve's pension income is approximately $14,000. He lives in South Carolina. Although he has been paying taxes on that income for years, he is eligible for a complete exemption under the senior tax laws of his state. Why? Because the exemption was never noted by the accountant who does his taxes. And Steve didn't inquire. He was never informed that he qualified. These incidents are frequent and demonstrate how quickly elderly people might lose money as a result of little mistakes. Each state has its own set of regulations. Some states, such as Pennsylvania, do not impose any taxes on retirement income or Social Security. Others, such as New York, permit sizable deductions for annuities, IAS, and pensions. However,
Hardly any of these advantages come without conditions. Your tax return must include a declaration or claim for them. You should check more closely at your state's Department of Revenue website if you want to prevent losing money year after year. Keep an eye out for phrases like retirement income deduction or senior income exemption. Verify the age-based exclusion settings in your tax software once more. Ask the tax preparer personally if you work with one. Have you taken advantage of every deduction that is permitted for my age? Many retirees believe they lack the expertise and energy necessary to question an incomprehensible system, but opposing the system is not the point here. It all comes down to understanding the regulations and using them to safeguard your hard-earned money. For decades, you paid your taxes. You are now somewhat relieved by the legislation. However, you have to beg for that release. And you miss it each year. The amount you pay is higher than it should be. 5. Premiums for Medicare Advantage and supplement plans. Why might it cost you to remain faithful? Many seniors think they are set for life once they choose a Medicare Advantage plan or a Medicare supplement plan at age 65. It feels secure. You don't have to worry about it. Furthermore, nobody likes to sift through mountains of insurance pamphlets each year. However, sticking with what you have could be costing you hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year in hidden costs. This is the reality. Every year, Medicare Advantage and Medigap policies undergo modifications. New plans with greater benefits or lower costs may be available in your zip code, and prices, coverage, and doctor networks may vary. You won't know, though, until you actively compare and switch during the annual enrollment time. Medicare's annual open enrollment period begins on October 15th and ends on December 7th. Every Medicare beneficiary is entitled to assess their current plan during this time and transfer to a different one if it provides greater coverage or a lower premium. However, after enrolling, over 70% of seniors never compare plans or shop around again, according to study. Let's examine a real-world scenario. At age 65, Robert signed up for a Medicare Advantage plan. It included dental and vision care and cost him $38 a month at the time. The premium gradually increased over time to over $90 a month. His chosen physician left the network, and dental coverage were reduced. However, because he believed it was too complicated, and because no one ever informed him that there were other possibilities, Robert never changed his plans. At the age of 74, he eventually spoke with a Medicare counselor and found a plan with almost the same coverage but no premium. He saved more than $1,000 in a single year. Medicare supplement insurance, or Medigap, is another frequent blunder. When they first enroll, many seniors select a Medigap Plan F or Plan G because they think it's the most complete option. While this may be the case, prices for these plans differ significantly depending on the provider. For the same coverage, one insurance provider may charge $230 a month, while another may charge $170. You may be paying far more than you need to unless you compare every few years. What's stopping more seniors from switching? The explanations make sense. The procedure appears unclear. The possibility of losing coverage or having an inferior plan is feared. Additionally, private insurers who wish to recommend particular policies to you provide a lot of contradicting information.
In actuality, though, switching can be easy, and the government offers resources to help you manage your choices. Use the Plan Compare tool on the official Medicare website, medicare.gov. To get the best plan for you, you can enter your location, preferred doctors, and drugs. Additionally, you can talk to a local SHIP counselor or call 1-800-MEDICARE. The State Health Insurance Assistance Program, or SHIP, provides free, objective advice. This is the bottom line. It may feel comfortable to stick with your Medicare plan, but it's not necessarily a good idea. You pay more if you don't check, and the system is designed to assume that you won't. The good news is that you can alter that once a year. Spend some time going over your plan. You put in too much effort to allow needless premiums to deplete your retirement funds. 6. Bills and services for utilities. You're not being informed about senior discounts. We frequently consider housing and health insurance when considering expenses that significantly impact our budget. However, monthly utility bills are another type of spending that gradually depletes a fixed income. Bills for phone, internet, garbage, water, and electricity may not seem like much on their own, but when combined, they may easily reach hundreds of dollars each month. The majority of senior citizens are unaware that there are senior-only discount schemes. Many of them are provided by federal agencies, state governments, and utility companies. Here's the catch, though. You must inquire. Your account is not automatically credited with these programs. Actually, unless you ask specifically, the majority of businesses will never bring them up. Consider Eleanor as an example.
She resides alone in a little one-bedroom flat at the age of 78. Even though she hardly uses her appliances, she spends more than $160 a month on heating and electricity alone. She learnt that her energy supplier had a senior discount program for consumers over 65 when her niece assisted her in reviewing her bills one day. Eleanor only needed to submit evidence of income and complete a brief form. Her energy bill now saves her close to $40 a month, or over $500 annually, only from that single call. It's not only gas and electric corporations either. Additionally, a lot of phone and internet companies provide senior discounts or exclusive programs for senior citizens. Federal programs, such as Lifeline, offer qualified low-income households cheap phone or broadband service. Additionally, there was the Inexpensive Connection Initiative, which provided internet service for up to $30 per month until its early termination in 2024. Similar benefits are still provided by numerous local providers with state-level support. Another program that helps low-income households, including many elderly, with heating and cooling expenses is called Low-Income Home Energy Assistance. Benefits differ by location under this federally sponsored program that is run at the state level. The savings can be significant in colder areas, particularly during the winter months when energy consumption is at its highest. Then, how do you learn about local offerings? First, give your internet, gas, water, and electricity companies a call. Additionally, check the website of your state's Department of Aging or give your local agency on aging a call. When you ask them, do you offer any senior discount programs or low-income assistance for customers over 65? These organizations can assist you with applying and frequently provide listings of available discounts. Additionally, you can visit benefitscheckup.org, which lets you enter your zip code and see benefit programs you might qualify for based on your age and income, or get in touch with the National Council on Aging. This is the most annoying aspect. There is support, but it's not very loud. Your door isn't knocked on. You must seek it out, and many elderly people never do. They assume that paying full price is their only choice. Therefore, they continue to do so. However, it isn't. You've earned the right to seek assistance. These systems are the result of your labor and tax contributions. These programs were created with individuals like you in mind. Additionally, every dollar you save on utilities can be used on food, medicine, or just mental tranquility. Don't delay. Make the phone calls. Pose the queries. Because you can be paying far more than you realize for not asking. You've spent your entire life working. You have contributed to the system. It's time for the system to function for you. Millions of seniors' funds are being subtly depleted by these 6 bills. Not because funds must be spent, but rather because information is lacking. However, you are no longer in the dark today, so do something about it. Pose inquiries. Verify again what you are paying for. And if someone you care about might be paying for something they shouldn't, please share this video if it was helpful. You deserve better. Let's make sure you receive it now.